Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 84 of the Seezus Show. Back again, and hopefully this week is going to be another great episode. So I'm excited to get into today's hottest topics. But before that, I just would like for all of you to take a moment to, subscribe to the Seezus Show on all platforms if you haven't done so already, and also my personal account, Sir Seezus, as well too. And before we get into today's hottest topics, I just want to rehash on episode 83. So on episode 83 of the Seezus Show, it was myself, Sir Seezus, and Trey Day XXIV, and we both discussed Kyrie, Avery Bradley, Dwight Howard's stance on essentially sitting out. For the upcoming restart of the NBA season and much, much more content. But before we get into today's hottest topics, I would just like to introduce one of my homies, Mike Checks. We're about to get into some good topics today, so I'm extremely excited. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. And we're back, this time with the special guest, my boy back from VCU days. We even won a 3-on-3 championship together. Make some noise for Mike Checks.
What it do? It's been a minute, man.
I know, man. How you doing? How you holding up? What's new? How are you surviving during these hard times?
Well, man, I've been holding up the best way I can. You know what I'm saying? Trying to hit my push-ups, work out every day. Still ain't get that haircut in, but yeah, man, we just doing what we got to do on this side, trying to work on my craft and waiting on hoops to start.
Definitely waiting on hoops to start as well too. I was just telling the audience the previous episode with Trey and myself. We were on episode 83. We were talking about Kyrie, Dwight, Avery Bradley, among a few people who wanted to be a little radical and essentially sit out. And basically they were saying that with the power that we have nowadays, it'll be a bigger statement to sit out. That way we can utilize this time to take money out of the pockets, and with the fact of everyone looking at sports to heal, it will kind of distract everyone from the movement that's going on right now. So we had a little back and forth, but at the end of the day, we were just for it or open to the idea. If it happens, it happens. I support it. If not, maybe players can utilize their platform, since they're going to be nationally televised on a daily basis with the 8 regular season games and with the playoffs going on. So maybe they'll do something or come to some form of agreement to get that ball rolling. So that was pretty exciting, man. But yeah, aside from that, you ready to get into today's hottest topics, man?
And I've been waiting. First off, just shout out to you, man. I know that we got together early. I think it was like first 10 episodes was the first time I ever got on the show. And you've come a long way, man. So off rip, shout out to you. The Seezus Show, it's major, man. So it's just a pleasure to join, and let's get into it, man. Let's do it.
All right, appreciate that. Just trying to get better each episode, week by week, day by day. So appreciate that. Cool. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is, kind of just, going off of last episode with, Kyrie and, like I said, Avery Bradley and Dwight leading the charge on players essentially sitting out for, a bigger issue with everything that's been going on with police brutality in the current landscape of the United States as well, too. And one thing that I proposed was that I wanted, players who had, high position of power. So like a LeBron James, like a CP3, them to basically, if the league were to restart, to use their platform to help spread awareness of what's going on. So one of my proposals in my head was, we have deals with ESPN, we have deals with ABC, we have deals with TNT. So maybe if there's, a game that goes on, maybe the next day we can invite people who are pretty well versed with politics, and they can talk, and they can have panel discussions on why voting is important, to eliminate voter suppression, and just get people more educated on what's at hand as well too. I thought that would be a good alternative if we still were to resume the season. And it's kind of crazy how things unfolded, because earlier this week, LeBron James and the group of athletes and entertainers, which included Kevin Hart, Trey Young, Skylar Diggins, Jalen Rose, Draymond Green, Udonis Haslam, even the NFL running back Alvin Kamara. They all basically started a movement called More Than a Vote. So basically, they're aiming to protect African Americans' voting rights, and they're combating voter suppression, which was, like I said, sparked by the racial injustices that have been going on in this landscape. Obviously, the domino effect was George Floyd as well too. So, to me, um, I think it's going to inspire African Americans to register to vote and cast a ballot in November. Operation Get Trump the fuck out of office. But with athletes, growing popularity in the NBA and the NBA being predominantly black, I think it's only right to utilize their platforms, especially LeBron James, who is, for our generation, the chosen one. There was people like Muhammad Ali and other sports athletes, that took stances back in the day during the Vietnam War, during the civil rights movement as well too. So it's good to see that it's sort of a passing the torch as well too. So I'm excited for that. So I did some research, and in 2016, just about 136 million people voted in the presidential election with Trump versus Hillary Clinton. And LeBron James, if you look at the analytics with Facebook, with Twitter, with Instagram, his reach is damn near 136 million people. So he has that much power. So one of the quotes that he relayed was, yes, we want to go out and vote, but we're also going to give you the tutorial. We're going to give you the background of how to vote and what they're trying to do on the other side to stop you from voting. And then I thought that was pretty interesting as well, too, because when we looked at the numbers as well, in the 2016 presidential election, there was a drop off of voters, primarily black male young voters as well too. So if you run the numbers, if African Americans go to the voting poll and actually vote, then our voices will be heard and we will make a difference as well too. So I just love how LeBron James is shedding light as well too. He's already known for what he does on the court, but I think he's going to be more glorified and go into the GOAT discussion because of what he does outside of the court. Like we already know about him with the school that he started up in Akron, Ohio, helping out underprivileged kids from low income households to get them towards, a better life. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come from privilege. So he's starting with them from a young age and, hopefully getting them into college as well too. So he did that. And then he also, started The Uninterrupted, his own media production, HBO The Shop. So he just keeps growing, and I love what he's doing right there as well too. So with this organization, More Than a Vote, he's actually going to be teaming up with the voter rights, which would be including When We All Vote and Fair Right, and will be advised by a guy named Adam Mendelsohn. Watch out for that name, Adam Mendelsohn, which is a former political strategist as well too. But I'm excited, man. Like I said, I feel like when Obama was in office, he gave us something you know, to believe in, you know what I'm saying? And then I guess, when the tides had turned and we know he was getting out of office, like I said, a lot of people didn't care. I mean, I still voted, but I just feel like a lot of people were like, well, I feel like Hillary is a Democrat and she's better than Trump, but at the same time, her policies don't kind of coincide with what I believe in. So at the end of the day, my vote doesn't matter. When in fact that I feel like it's a civic duty. It's just something that's very important that we need to touch on as well too. So, like I said to Trey the last episode, we can voice our opinions. We can promote as much as possible. We can, um, you know, go to. We can go to what's that word I'm looking for? I'm going blank here. We can protest and whatnot, but that can only get you but so far. The real power lies, with voting, not even at the presidential election, from your state, from your district, and so forth. So I feel like a lot of African Americans and even just Americans in general don't realize how important that is. And yeah, if we can get to them at an early age, maybe this can be a trend moving forward as well too. And even with Trey Young, he was like, I'm only 21 years old. I kind of want to be a voice of reason for my generation too. So maybe if I can use my platform to spread awareness, maybe another 20-year-old or 18-year-old who looks up to me and be like, hey, I'm going to vote too. So I'm excited for that. Any comments on what LeBron James and the gang are doing?
Well, yeah, man. Just first of all, salute to LeBron just for being like the face of the league. A lot of times, man, it's easy to, not that, we shouldn't be doing it. Obviously, we should be raising awareness, but it's easy to send a tweet. It's easy to donate a lump sum of money. But just it seems like LeBron is trying to create real change, with everything that he's doing. You already went down the list of stuff, not to mention the latest thing with the voting. I think it's huge, man. And just him being the face and just getting all the other guys. You said a guy like Trae Young, younger than us, man, 21 years old, but he's creating real change. It's kind of like showing you that no matter how old you are, no matter, your level of education, even, you can really create a change. You just have to kind of, do your research and really want to be that change to, affect our nation. And right now, man, it's radical. We're at the point where, we're tired as Black people. We're tired, man. And all the systematic bullshit, excuse my language, that's been going
No,
on
you
for a
good,
long
you good.
time, we ready to change it up. So, I think it's a beautiful thing that's going on right now. Like you said, with getting out and actually voting, one thing I was scared about at first was when Biden actually went on the Breakfast Club. And I forgot what he said, but he messed up big time, man. He said something about if you're not Black, if you don't vote for Biden or something like that. And it had everybody outraged. It's just unfortunate that right now, man, the bar is here with it, man. If it's not,
Yeah,
if it's Trump, we have to vote for the other candidate, straight
yeah,
up.
yeah,
That's just
yeah.
what it is. So I just want people to be cognizant of that, keep that in mind, and know that, man, your vote makes a difference, man. So let's keep going. I love it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I agree with you as well too. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pick yeah, like I said earlier, is Operation Get Trump Out. So once we do that, and I think we can start to actually, make change. So only time will tell, and hopefully, this initiative definitely, spreads the most awareness as possible, and people actually get to, the voting poll on in November. So I'm
Remember.
excited for that. So salute to LeBron James, man. So aside from that, getting back into the NBA, like we said a little earlier, actually before we even get into all that, I just want to shed some light on Vince Carter. He just announced not too long ago that he's going to be retiring, and it's crazy, man. We literally saw a man who's played in basically every era, 90s, early 2000s, 2010s, and just a glimpse of the 2020 as well too. But when I first think of him, I think of, everyone says, I want to be like Mike and Jordan can fly and whatnot. I thought Vince Carter was one of those, guys who could, just defy gravity. And he had a hell of a career as well too. And I just want to shed light because I think he played 20 years or 22 years maybe,
98,
98 to
98 to
2020.
2020.
God
Damn.
damn. That's
We were three. For
crazy.
context, we were 3 years old. I think you were
Yeah.
4. I was
Yeah.
3 when I entered the league. So
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Career average 17, 4, and 3. Two-time All NBA, 8-time All Star. All rookie 1998, 99 season. Even though he didn't get a ring or anything like that, that shouldn't define if he gets in the Hall of Fame or not. I think he's going to be in the Hall of Fame in a couple years. Man, anything you want to add to Vince Carter or whatnot?
man, half amazing, the greatest in dunker of all time, man. It's
Mhm.
crazy because I just remember me personally when he dunked on Alonzo when he was on the Nets. That
Yeah.
got to be one of my favorite dunks of all time, man. Like nobody dunks on Alonzo really, and he went into his body, took the bump, and really put it on his head. So I would say with Vince, man, he had a wonderful career. I would say like obviously his Toronto days were his most memorable days. The early him and T Mac, and then early 2000s he's battling AI in the playoffs. Like I definitely think that Vince was one of a kind. I do wish a little bit of me wishes that he was able to kind of reach and sustain that superstardom for a little while longer. it seems like the first 10 years of his career were like his glory days. And then he became like a high level role player, like on those Dallas teams. I think he was on that
Orlando.
Magic team with Dwight. Later on, he ended up, Atlanta obviously retired, but
Mm-hmm.
basically, Vince never reached like that Kobe level, that even that T-Mac level as pure ability.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as showmanship, watchability, excitement, I mean, that's tough,
Durability.
man.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure. So he definitely has a stamp in the history books, and we'll see what his next chapter holds. A lot of players get into media, start their own production company or whatnot. So we'll see what he gets into because I saw a couple of his interviews, and the most recent interview I saw was on All the Smoke a couple of weeks ago, and I enjoy hearing him speak. Very wise dude. So it's always good to pick someone's brain. So yeah, props to VC, man. Half amazing. I appreciate that.
we
Cool.
appreciate you, man.
So NBA season is about to kick back off on July 30th. That's going to be the restart. It's going to be 22 teams, 19 in the East, and I believe 13 in the West. They're going to play 8 regular season games, and then right after that, they're going to go straight into the playoffs. So based on your win percentage, that's going to be what the seedings are going to be at as well too. So it's going to be pretty interesting. But it's just a little crazy because there was some incoming news. So before I even get into everything, I want to first talk about, players having the option to basically not join the restart of NBA season. So a couple players that come to mind, and we can talk about them individually because they have 3 differing reasons of why they're opting out. So the first person is Trevor Ariza. So obviously Trevor Ariza is a swingman that was on the Sacramento Kings, and he got traded to the Portland Trailblazers to try to strengthen up their depth and make a run in the playoffs as well too. He will not be joining the Portland Trailblazers. Instead, he's going to be committing to a 1-month visitation window with his young son because him and his baby moms have been involved in the custody case over his 12-year-old son. So the 1 month, like I said, the 1 month window is actually coincides with the restart of the season. So, in his head is like family over everything as well too. So they say he's gonna, I think, lose anywhere between 1 to 1.8 million, which is a lot to us, but it's a little to him. I mean, he has, I think, a guaranteed
Stop
10 to
it.
12 million dollar contract. But what are your thoughts on that situation?
Uh, I don't blame Trevor, to be honest with you. I mean, right now it's tough, man. There's the risk of not only getting the virus. I think a big thing is just being in the bubble, not being able to see your family, and everything that goes into that. A guy like Trevor Ariza, Portland is on the outskirts. I want to say they're in the 9th seed, but they're 4 games out. There's an
Yeah.
8-game play-in, and it's going to be up in the air if Portland will even make it. So just for a guy like Trevor to go out there at his advanced age, I want to say he's probably 34, 35 at this point. He probably
Mm-hmm.
has a good 2, 3 years of, being a very solid role player. I think that he kind of wants to wait, come into next season, refreshed, healthy, and ready to make his impact, and just not ready to risk everything that comes with the COVID season.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's bigger than basketball. So, like you said, health first, and more importantly, time with the son as well too. We don't realize until we get older how much effect not having or having someone of a father figure or a mother figure, just a parent figure in general, can affect you growing up. So, I would have done the same thing, no, probably. So, I understand that. And like you said, they're in the 9th seed battling for it. So, is it really worth it to be there for the max 3 months?
To
Nah.
play the Lakers first round, like,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about that. The other person that's going to be sitting out is my ex Spurs player, David Bertans. So basically, Bertans is going to be sitting out as a preventative measure. He's an unrestricted free agent. He's 27 years old right now, and he had 2 previous ACL injuries. So this season with the Wizards, he had a pretty damn good season. I actually saw him got to play live when I went to the Wizards and Clippers game, and I think he damn near almost went for 30 just spraying. It was crazy. I was like, damn, you ain't do that much over here in San Antonio. Like I saw glimpses of what you could become, but damn, he was looking really good out there. I was like, yo, Wizards need to hold on to something when John Wall come back. But this season, he averaged 16 points, shot 42% from three, and in my opinion, he was one of the best six men this whole entire season, to be honest. So I think he's going to be losing up to 520K as well too. So with this one, it's more so of him sitting out because in his head he thinks it's not worth it, and he's like, "Yo, if I just came off of two injuries and kind of like we said with Trevor Ariza, and I'm in a ninth seed, what am I actually doing when I'm about to become an unrestricted free agent and I know I'm going to get paid regardless? I know in this day and age, a 3-and-D or a stretch four is what's really needed now that, everything is played from the outside in. So why not sit out? So that's pretty interesting. What do you guys say about that?
Listen, the Wizards are 5 games out of the 8th seed once again. They not winning a damn thing. John Wall said he's 110% healthy. I seen a man doing windmills and all kind of crazy dunks, and he said he's not coming back. So obviously, the Wizards are gearing towards next season. David Bertans has a chance to make upwards of 30 to 50 million probably on his next contract. I mean, he's one of the greatest shooters I've ever seen. And I hate to always use that greatest word, but man, I tell you what, if he's wide open, that man is money. At 6'10", there's a job for him in the league. So, I think the Wizards already made him, that little I wink promise that they're gonna throw him the bread next year. So it doesn't really matter if he plays this year or not. With those two injuries, I'm at the crib with it, man.
Yeah, I'm at the
Holla at me in
crib.
December.
Yeah, for real, for real. And it's crazy because Orlando player Evan Fournier wanted to chime in and subtweeted him basically and said, seriously though, if you think it's okay to sit and watch your teammates play while you read perfectly healthy, it says a lot about you. So he seemed a little salty as well too. I'm like, dude, you live in Orlando. Stop
You
geeking.
feel me?
And right now, Florida has the highest number of confirmed cases for people being tested positive for coronavirus. So obviously basketball is their life and whatnot, and to some people may get them may rub them the wrong way, but at the same time you got to look out of what's best for you financially, health wise, and for your family too. So I think he just should have try to reach out to him and say something instead of taking the cowboy out and using his Twitter fingers as well too. So that was a little whack. And that was a little whack, man. And
That seemed like a personal attack. He didn't say nothing about everybody else that's not playing, did he? He just kind of
nah,
on that batons.
yeah,
There might be a little personal beef going on. We got to watch that.
right, yeah. We definitely gotta watch that when the season come back. I just want Bertans to spray that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. One of my cousins, Austin Freeman, he's from PG County as well too, and obviously with Kevin Durant,
Georgetown.
yeah, Georgetown guy. He actually has him and his backcourt mate back in college, and I think when they played, I forgot what AAU team they played for. Chris Wright, he went to Georgetown as well too. They actually started up their podcast as well too, and one of their first few guests was actually KD. I actually watched the episode the other day, and it was just an IG live, and KD was just talking about a lot of things as well too. But one of the questions that they asked him was, how you feel about everything that's going on, and would you play? And essentially, KD was just like, he wouldn't have played. He kind of really wouldn't want to go into the unknown, knowing the situation, given that he's one of the top billed athletes. This new case is it's a little unpredictable. But he was like, he's still trying to nurse his injury back, so he wouldn't even come regardless. And if he was healthy, it would be a conversation that he would have with his guys and look at the pros and cons and kind of figure it out from there. But he said no, but he he saw from both sides of the spectrum. So he saw why people want to go. He saw why people want to stay as well too. But he personally said he wouldn't as well too, which leads me into Avery Bradley. He was one of the other few people who decided to remain with his family and the well-being of his oldest son. So one of the main reasons was his 6-year-old son Liam is basically he has a history of struggling to recover from respiratory illnesses, and it's unlikely that he would have been medically cleared to enter the Orlando bubble with his family as well too. Because I think once you get to the second round of playoffs, that's when you can have your family allowed into that bubble as well too. And I think they would also be tested on a daily basis as well too. But he had a statement said, "As committed to my Lakers teammates and the organization as I am, I ultimately play basketball for my family. And so at a time like this, I can't imagine making any decision that might put my family's health and well-being at even the slightest risk. As I promised, also, I will use this time away to focus on the formation of the project to help straighten my community." So with him, he's going to lose about 650K as well too. And when I turn it over to you, we're going to get into JR after this because I'm sure you're going to probably try to tie that into it. But let's just focus on Avery Bradley as well too.
Wow.
I see where he's coming from as well too. If my son that had that problem as well too, I would basically I would definitely weigh my options as well too. But at the same time, I feel like I feel like he couldn't go back, even if his son didn't have that problem, because him and Kyrie and Dwight kind of already came out saying that they not going to play. So that kind of makes you look like a sellout in my eyes if you decide to play as well too. But what are your thoughts on his whole situation?
Well, it's a little tougher on Bradley's situation, I would say.
Mm,
He's playing for the number one team in the West, right? Where the other guys, they're on those teams that on that bubble. They may make it, they may not make it, probably not. But for Bradley, obviously family comes first. He's already mentioned not only did you say about his son, he's fighting for, reform and everything like that. So it's a tough loss. It's a tough loss for the Lakers. I respect his decision as a man. Obviously, I'm sure he knows what's at stake. He hasn't won a title yet. Being the type of high quality role player he is, a title will boost his legacy a lot too. Getting a chip with LeBron, he's deciding to sit down. So in my opinion, man, I mean, I respect his decision as a man. He's already come out and explained exactly why. I can't be mad at him, but as obviously, a fan, it hurts. Avery Bradley is one of the best two-way defenders in the league. He only averages 8 or 9 points, but as you can see in big games, he shows up. Versus the Clippers, he had that amazing outburst. I know Clippers fans will say it won't happen again, but I think he got a couple more up his sleeve. We've seen what he's capable of doing in Boston with that playoff experience. He's honestly one of the best point guard defenders in our league. If you watch what he does to like guys like Curry, guys like Westbrook, guys like Dame, he gives them a hard time. So it's going to be a huge loss for the Lakers, especially at a position, that they need a two-way defender at the guard position.
yeah, I was thinking with Avery Bradley, he's the type of player that can help or hurt. This might be a real big blow to you guys. Like you said, he's one of. I mean, he only averaged 8 points, but he does everything else that really doesn't that really doesn't show up on the box score as well too. So he was the primary defender for guards, and in the West is very guard driven as well too. So I was like, damn, like put aside Jr. Who we're about to talk about after this segment when we're done with Avery Bradley, like who are you going to lean on to pick up a guy from full court, you know what I'm saying, to disrupt someone's momentum? Like, who is going to be that guy? And then, like I say, he's a 3-and-D type of player as well, too. That's just going to be pretty interesting as well, too. I know LeBron a little sick right now. He's like, damn, I'm losing him. I know Dwight hasn't came out and said anything yet. I might be losing another big. Boogie's not even signed with us anymore. So it's looking a little spooky out here as well, too. And I was thinking about that game you were saying when He had 27 points. I think it hit like 6 threes. That's come on, man. You know that's not happening again. Anyway, besides the point, I think if the Lakers were gonna go up against the Clippers fully healthy and whatnot, I think Beverly was gonna get reduced minutes because he couldn't do anything against Avery Bradley. Like it was actually sick. Like so now if you don't have him there, that's more freedom for him. That's more freedom for Lou Williams. That's more freedom for Reggie Jackson. So you guys may have a problem with not only the two wing players in Kawhi and PG, but also the young hungry guards, like I said, even Shamit, and then, like I said, Lou Williams, Reggie Jackson, and Patrick Beverly. So that mixed with I feel like not having a true home a home crowd with no fans being there, it's going to be interesting if they meet up in the Western Conference Finals, in which we think they're going to meet up as well too. So I feel bad. I feel bad for you guys right now. But I mean, if you have two of the top 5 players in the league, then you should be pretty good as well too. But from a
You
defensive
know,
standpoint, that's definitely going to be a loss for you guys.
it's definitely going to be a loss. Everything you said is correct. I mean, off rip, a lot of people, including yourself, had the Clippers as the best team in the West. You know, I'm a LeBron guy, and I like the
Yeah,
fact that we have two of the top 5, 6 years players in the league with LeBron and AD. So I
five,
think,
five.
okay, we'll go 5. You know what I'm
Yes, come
saying?
on, you already know, bro. No cap.
So at the
You
end of
just
the
say that because you want LeBron to win MVP. Y'all get that.
day, look. But now all seriousness, man, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Like they're really gonna have to go into their depth. I would say you look at a guy like KCP, probably to fill in that stardom void. A
Who
guy
had a pretty
like
good season this
Caruso,
year.
a really
Caruso,
good
yeah.
season. Caruso is a hustle guy that, is not as great as the media makes him out to be. I don't know where the Caruso hype came from, but he
The
is,
white guy
I don't
with
want him to
bounce.
get overlooked as well. He's solid. But man, let me tell you something. Ball hard D Waiters. Look out for my man, Waiters Island. Dion Waiters. A lot of people
I forgot
have
about him,
said
honestly. I forgot he was on your
you're
roster.
not
He just,
alone.
yeah.
A lot of people have overlooked Dion. For good reason. He over here getting high on the plane, eating gummies. He's had out of shape issues. In Miami, he had that bad ankle injury that kept him out almost 2 years.
Right when he
But
was
if
hitting
you
his prime, you know what I'm saying? That sucks.
his time in Miami, if people remember, he was a 16 to 18 PPG scorer. Offensively, he could get to the basket. He shot the three ball well. His in between game was good, and he had some really good moments versus the Clippers, blocking Lou Will's shot, hitting a couple shots that ended up winning them the game while he was a member of the Heat, and that was just this past year. Before, obviously, he got cut and everything, and ended up on the Lakers. So I've seen Dion. I follow him on social medias. He's lost about 15 pounds. He looks
Yeah.
like he's working every day with Drew Hanlon. And I think he's gonna play a large role. He's just that type of microwave scorer, a la a Lou Williams, Reggie Jackson type mode. So he's our
Mm-hmm.
version of that. And I think that if he's able to at least, replicate what those dudes are doing on the Clippers, I think that that'll be a huge thing for the Lakers. And not to mention playoff Rondo, don't sleep.
That's facts. That's facts. That's
Don't
that's when
sleep.
everything's on the line as well too. So I playoff Rondo is a different animal as well too. We saw his last stint, you know, well, 2 stints I enjoyed when they swept the Blazers. Him and Drew Holiday was just strapping CJ. Dang, bro, they look like little boys amongst men. Son, that shit was crazy. And then also, if he didn't get hurt, the Chicago Bulls would have beat the Celtics and upset
They
them
were up
that year as well
2-0.
too. Yeah, bro. Yeah, that was crazy. So playoff Rondo, he got a lot of rest. That's another thing as well too. You guys are a lot older, more mature. And I feel like this rest, this time off is definitely going to do wonders, especially with LeBron going into, year 18 and 17 and a half, I guess, because we got a little hold on the season as well
Facts.
too. So it's going to be interesting as well. Which brings me to your number one prospect since Avery Bradley is out of the picture, J.R. Smith, Mr. Swish, Mr. Henny, whatever you want to call him. He's a top prospect for the Lakers. Career average 12 and a half points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 38% from 3 for a career average. He already went to a couple of different finals with LeBron James as well too, and was one of the vital pieces in winning that 2016 chip as well too. So in the 2018-19 season, he only played 11 games, and in the 2019-20 season, he sat out basically the entire year as well too. So a lot of people biggest issue with him is you haven't been in the league for a while. What do you still have left in the tank? Are you going to be a good piece as well too? Because I'm not concerned about any of his actions as far as him being, a bad apple in the locker room. He's already proven that he's a great person on and off the court as well too. So you being a Lakers fan, LeBron fan, or whatever you want to call it, how do you feel J.R. Smith mixes with the Lakers? Do you see him getting a lot of minutes? And what do you expect from him?
Man, straight up, this is a completely low risk, high reward situation. The Lakers have depth at that position. Despite losing Avery Bradley, you still got a Danny Green, a KCP, Dion, a Caruso, everybody we mentioned at that guard spot.
Yeah.
To throw JR in the squad, all you're really doing is adding a battle-tested playoff veteran who has a relationship with LeBron James. As much as, we hate, I wouldn't say hate JR, but as much as, we like to make fun of JR and talk about, his character issues or whatever it might be, he's a lights-out shooter, especially when he gets hot. He's one of those guys that can hit 8 threes in a row or miss 8 threes in a row. So, 8 to 10 minutes in a playoff game where you give him 3-4 shots. If he hits a couple threes, it's only a plus to you. I think it's a great move for the Lakers. Just his relationship with LeBron alone, obviously after he's gotten over the the timeout issue and him forgetting the clock, I think JR would be a good piece. He's a battle-tested veteran. He's a better defender than a lot of people give him credit for. And I think he can help the team, I think he can help the team.
How many minutes do you see him playing?
Like I said, not many minutes. It's one of those things where, like, if he's hot early, he may play 15 to 20 minutes that game. But really I expect him to have a lot of DMPs, honestly. And then, he'll probably end up averaging around 10 to 12 minutes for his playoff run. Get in there, get some shots up, play some D, take up some fouls, and just kind of, match up with all the depth the Clippers have, to throw another guard in there that's not scared of the moment will be great for us.
I only think there's only 2 things I'm really concerned about with him. Obviously, his age. So we haven't seen him play in a while. So I want to see how good he still is laterally, playing defense, and I want to see what his stamina is looking like as well too. Obviously, they're going to have about a 2-week time span to get ready, and then 8 games to get ready for the playoffs. But with LeBron, obviously they do have that prior chemistry. LeBron likes the whole season to get everything in order, so it's going to be interesting to see if you do get those minutes, how is he going to mesh on the court, and how fast is he going to learn the plays and the system as well too.
Listen, man, I like to think of dudes like JR as just hoopers, man.
Yeah.
JR is a shooter. So obviously it's going to take some time to get his NBA rhythm. But fortunately for him, everybody's coming back at a time where they've taken a lot of time off.
That's true.
It's been months since the season has started. So you're kind of getting back into the rhythm with everyone else. I'm sure during that 8-game stretch that the Lakers are going to play, you're going to want to keep LeBron's minutes limited. They already have a pretty sizable lead over the Clippers for that 1 seed. You're going to want guys like Kyle Kuzma, now JR, Dion, to really get their confidence up, because those are like the guys that could really get hot for you in a given game. So I think JR will be just fine. I think for him, with his age, those 2 years actually excites him. Mind you, he's been in the league for like 14, 15 years now. He came out of high school.
Mhm.
So, just to have, that rest on his legs and now to come back with everybody at the same time, I think it'll actually work in his favor.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I don't remember when the deadline is, but hopefully by the deadline they do have him on the team. That'll be nice to see him back in the league. Just how Melo took a little hiatus, came back. We saw he still has a lot left in the tank as well too. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens moving forward. So another thing I want to talk about is Adrian Wojnarowski has reported that 16 NBA players have tested positive for the coronavirus of 302 players tested. So not too bad. And like most people think is, you just quarantine or isolate for 2 weeks and the virus is essentially out of your system as well too. But some players that happen to be tested for the coronavirus were players including Malcolm Brogdon, Jabari Parker, Alex Lynn, Jokic, and Buddy Hield as well too. I don't know the other remaining players as well, so I do know training camp I think starts in about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to monitor. But do you think this could be a problem moving forward? I mean, obviously, in theory, they're going to be in a bubble and isolated, so no one can really leave the bubble. If you do, you can get fined or anything like that. I think the only people that can leave are the employees itself, which I'm a little skeptical about if the employees are going in and out. We don't really know their itinerary when they go out. They could be chilling with a lot of people, going to bars, just doing wild, reckless stuff, and could potentially get someone exposed as well too. But I trust the NBA to um, keep their players safe for however long they stay in that bubble as well too. But do you think it's going to be a problem moving forward as well too? And then also, it's like the they're getting tested every day, and they have that ring tracker as well too. I'm a little nervous. Like I'm not going to lie to you. Like what if? And I was telling Trey about this. Like what if LeBron and the Lakers meet up with the Clippers and LeBron or AD or Kuzma or like Lou Williams, one of them get tested positive for coronavirus? You mean to tell me they got to isolate for 14 days and they just can't play anymore? Does that taint things as well too? Like, what are your thoughts on all that?
Man, that's gonna be a tough situation to handle. I mean, we haven't ever seen this before, bro. So whatever it is, it's gonna be tough to kind of navigate and just to see, how each team is gonna go about, their quarantine and their, precautions. But overall, I just think we kind of just have to roll the ball out and see. I mean, everybody, I would hope is gonna, follow the safety procedures of the bubble. I hope that they won't be, going out too much. I mean, it's what is it, 2 months? A strong two
So,
months of
so if you get to the finals, you're at least going to play. I think it's in mid-October.
into mid-October. So that's a decent amount of time, but who wants it, man? Like, we're here to win a chip. We're here to show, that, the season that you fought to, even if you're the Rockets, the Nuggets, the Jazz, like you fought all season to, get your seed and, to have a chance to compete for a championship. There's a lot at stake. So if your priority is still trying to go out, and I know we're all human, we all want to, have a good time while we're over there, but I need everybody to go into that LeBron zero dark 30 mode and, cop a couple books for the hotel room and just try to stay safe, man, because this thing is out here. People are still getting it, as you said. And, when it's time to play, I just hope everybody's on the same page and we can keep the virus at a minimum from spreading.
For sure, for sure. And then before we end things as well, too, never really got to ask you who's your dark horse in the East, and then who's your dark horse in the West?
Whew. So my dark horse in the East really shouldn't be much of a dark horse. This team is almost undefeated at home. They've only lost 2 games. They have a terrible record on the road, and it's due to, I think, lack of focus, inexperience, and just a bunch of knuckleheads at times. Philadelphia 76ers, man. I'm telling you now, Joel Embiid is, to me, the best center in the league. You got Ben Simmons. You first of all, Philly's starting lineup alone. You got Ben Simmons, a 6'10" point guard. You have Josh Richardson. You have Tobias. You have Horford, and you have Embiid. A knock on Philly has been their bench. Since the season has started, they've got Shake Milton organically that's grown with the group. Really good player. Look out for him. As well as guys like Alec Burks, Glenn Robinson. You got
Tibble, I think.
Forkma, Tibble, who's a great defender. So I think Philly is one of those teams that I think they're a 6 seed, but they have the potential to scare anybody just because now, Embiid is fully healthy. Ben Simmons is fully healthy. Ben Simmons been working out. We're going to see if he's going to shoot the ball. I don't know. But he's one of the best defenders in the league. So I think that Philly defensively and then just having that firepower offensively with just their depth, I think they're my dark horse. But the East is going to be tough, man. You got Miami, you got Toronto, Boston. Any one of those teams I can see coming out. My favorite is still Milwaukee because I think Greek is on a mission. I think, he's arguably the MVP of our league. Somebody else might have something to say about it. But I think if anybody can just, come from, around the block and you're just not expecting them, Philly is my team in the East. And then the West, I would say.
Yeah, who's your dark horse? And then go into who you got coming out.
Who I got coming out.
Well, first talk about your dark horse and then who you got coming out.
For the West, I'm going to Rockets. Straight up. It's open gym. It's open gym. They don't have a center. You get it and you go. I mean, you got Harden, you got Russ. For them, especially, if you're able to win a chip, you're talking about top 20 all-time players now. Like, they've literally done everything you could ask for as individual players in a regular season. Both of their knocks has been their inability to produce in the playoffs, especially Harden. We ask if he's tired during the playoffs. You look at the San Antonio run when he had less points than DeJounte Murray, when Kawhi didn't play. And you look at, the past time when they said they're going to run it back, KD went down and you still lose to Golden State. So I think he has a lot to prove. I mean, he's one of the greatest offensive players of all time. And Russ is a triple-double machine 3 years in a row. I think that for them, they have the talent. Maybe they don't have the bigs, but it's a different style of ball. And if they could get hot from Trey, you don't want to play them in the playoffs. So they're my other dark horse.
And then who you got coming out?
Coming out of the West, man, you already know what type of time it is, man. Number 23, King James. You already know what time it is, man. I think they're going to go 7 games, all of 7 with the Clippers. It's going to be a tough series. It's going to be a tough matchup. But I have them seeing Milwaukee in the finals, and I think they get Milwaukee in 6. I think LeBron is finals MVP, but I think AD is right there as far as his dominance and his impact of the game. And I think the Lakers take it home, man. I think the Lakers take it home.
It's only right for Kobe Bean.
Kobe Bean, man. Hold it down for the boy. It's just a special year. Like you said, Kobe passed, the greatest LA player of all time in my estimation. So just to have the opportunity to play for him with the crisis going on, COVID, if LeBron's able to take a chip home this year, 3 different franchises now, he's probably going to be the all-time leading scorer in the history of the league. He's going to be top 5 in assists. You start asking these questions, man. You start asking these questions. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it makes him the GOAT, but it makes it damn close, man. And I think it just adds to his legacy at year 17, being able to produce the way he has, leading the league in assists. I mean, it's remarkable what I'm seeing, man. But I got the Lakers going all the way. Let me ask you the same questions. Your East, West contenders, dark horses, and who you got coming out?
Yeah, so I said this last week with Trey as well, too. But for the East, we both had the 76ers as well, too. I just felt like The fact that they don't have to worry about a home crowd, the fact that Joel Embiid's had the most rest since he's been playing again, and Ben Simmons is a little banged up as well too. I think with those two superstars, they can really make some damage. As far as the West, my dark horse was CP3 and OKC. I thought they've been playing pretty well all
Hey,
year as well too, and
I like
I think Chris Paul is one of the best leaders, and with that squad that they have now and Shy emerging, I
Shy
think
is
they can
tough.
definitely at least win the first round and give the Clippers or the Lakers a scare and go potentially 6 games because CP's a dog to me. Who's coming out of the East? I mean, I was torn, man. I know Giannis is one of the best players, and I think he's going to be the MVP just because of him upping his level of play from last year to this season. And for me, I feel like since LeBron James has another superstar with him who's a top 5 player, and Giannis is still able to have the best record as well too. And in my opinion, aside from Ben Simmons, aside from AD, he could arguably be the defensive player of the year as well too. That's why I give him MVP. But I feel like going into playoffs is going to be pretty tricky because normally your role players don't play well on the road. There's not going to be no home crowd, so it's going to have that open gym type of vibe. So we'll see how their role players step up. We'll see how Chris Middleton steps up. I mean, he's one of the only players this year who's a 50-40-90 club as well too. Another all-star caliber season. So that's the thing I'm worried about. So I mean, right now, it's it's I have the Bucks definitely being the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, who they're going to meet, it's either going to be the Toronto Raptors or it's going to be the Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum and those boys, hooping the way they were before everything went down. And when you add Kemba to the piece, and like I said, Tatum has gotten better, Brown has gotten better. And then also you got what's his name, Marcus Smart, who's proven to be a impactful player down the stretch as well too. And Gordon Hayward, finally getting back into form. You got 5 to 6 legit scores as well too. The only thing I'm concerned about is their size for real, for real. But I'm never going to count the Raptors. They even have a better record than
the
so.
Clippers.
Based on the amount of games that they have right now, they have more wins that they had last year with Kawhi and Danny Green. And I think Nick Nurse is one of the best coaches in the NBA, in my opinion, behind like Doc Rivers and behind Coach Pop as well too. Obviously, Coach Pop don't have the depth that he is normally used to having as well too. But I think you can't count them out. Kyle Lowry's proven that he got the monkey off his back. Obviously, he was a third option now. He's coming into that second option now this year. I think they can make
Yeah.
some noise as well too. But like I said, it's so hard with no home court advantage truly. So if I had to pick someone to come out of the East, I'm probably gonna go with the Bucks. Just because it's Giannis' year, to be honest. And the only reason why Giannis didn't get to the finals last year was because of Kawhi guarding him as well too. So they were up 2-0, then they lost 4 straight. So we'll see. And then in the West, Conference Finals battle LA Lakers versus Clippers. It's truly no home court now, so we're gonna see. All the money on the table. Let's see who's gonna go at it. Who's gonna step up? So obviously LeBron is known to step it up and go zero dark 30 mode as well too. And Kawhi's proven too that he don't want to be he didn't want to join him. He wants to create his own narrative and he wants to go at him. And he feels like he has his Scotty with him as well too, with PG. And I think PG has something to prove as well. I think they're a little bit more hungry, and I think they've been in sync based on the conversations that I've heard with Doc Rivers and Lou Williams and whatnot. They've been communicating on a daily basis, working out. Their owner Steve Ballmer actually all purchased them in like their own in-home gym. So I think they know what's at hand as well too. And I think as much as I love LeBron James, I think he's one of the best players. But I think Kawhi has something to say about that. So I got them going 7 games, and I got the Clippers winning, and I got the Clippers going up against the Bucks, and the Clippers winning in 7 against the Bucks.
Okay. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I tell you what, man. If Kawhi is able to get past everybody that's in the West, now we're talking Dallas, Houston, whoever it may be, beat the Lakers, which I don't think will happen. But if he's able to do that, get to the finals and beat Giannis, I mean, there's not much to say. I think he catapults into
That'll be
arguably a
three
top 10
different
player of all time.
franchises too.
Right. Three different it's between him or Braun who will do it first. And that'll be his third different franchise. So that's impressive in itself. And I think it'll catapult him to like a top 10-ish player all time. And it's a little weird because if you look at like historically the top 10 players all time, all their careers have a kind of a different trajectory than Kawhi. Him starting off with Pop, kind of having to work into, a high-end role player and slowly work his way up to a superstar rather than just, being that guy from the jump is
Yeah.
almost, it's admirable. So if he's able to win, salute to Kawhi. He's a dog, probably one of the greatest wing defenders of all time. Not to mention, his accolades that he'll have. He got it. He's now the best player in the world if he wins a chip. I just will hesitate to say it because I'm a LeBron guy. I think he's still
Yeah.
the best, especially since Kawhi didn't have KD and Clay to play in the finals. But if Kawhi wins, he got it. That's the claw. He got it. We'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Any last closing remarks you want to say before I end the episode?
Man, I'm just ready for the season to start. I'm waiting on to see guys like James Harden, Russell Westbrook, LeBron, Kawhi, AD. A lot of these dudes have a lot to prove, and it's go time. That's all I'll say, man. It's go time. But shout out to you, C. Thank you for having me on the show, man. It's always love whenever we link up. So I appreciate you, big bro.
For sure, for sure, for sure. I appreciate that as well too. Like you said, now that we know the season's, coming into fruition, it's gonna be interesting as well too. So, like you said, I'm excited to see those players. With the people that are staying home, stay safe. And players like Avery Bradley, definitely hold up your end of the bargain and really try to seek ways to, try to make change, facilitate change as well too, and everyone just get more knowledgeable, treat others the way you want to be treated, and go out and vote. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 84 of the Seezus Show. Make sure to subscribe on all forms of social media at the Seezus Show at Sir Seezus. We out.